Hey guys, I am out in the garden today. Shocking, I know. But I wanted to just share with you guys some things that are on my heart that kind of God brought to my attention when I was in the garden today, which He uses the garden a lot for me. The garden, it's kind of funny, isn't it? But I wanted to share them with you because I just thought they were so cool. And I hope you guys get some encouragement as much as I got encouragement out of it. So let's get started, shall we? I'm going to turn you around and I'm going to show you the state of my lemon tree. See, it's missing a bunch of leaves. It's half fallen over. And the first thing that I want to talk today about is pruning. And a lot of the times when you do pruning and gardening, you have to do it at a certain time because you don't want to kill what is there. But because of the hurricane, I've had to do an early pruning, and I just kind of wanted to show you guys some cool things about this tree because for once I didn't think this tree was going to make it, but I started to come out to prune today, and I don't know if you can see it because the sun is really bright right now, but let me see if I can find a shade. But there are little sections of green where there's new growth occurring. And for me, and I don't like to admit it, but pruning is so important. And I have a hard time with pruning my plants because I always take off too much, or I'm like, oh, it's brown, it's gotta go, which that's not normally how you should prune. So the first thing that I just wanted to tell you about is first of all, I'm so excited about the regrowth of my lemon tree because God knew how important it was, so it's coming back. Yes! But the second part is about pruning and how it kind of coincides with our life. I'm going to turn you around and I'm going to show you, I don't know if you can see it again because of here we go, yeah you can. Okay, so this is like brown right here, and once you go up a little bit further on the tree, you'll see where it starts to get green again. This brown part that's kind of dead and dangling, I just cut off, and I actually just cut off a part of the green, but sometimes you have to cut off these things in order to get them to grow the way that they should and the healthy way. So I'm just going to take a seat right here underneath my lemon tree. But I just felt like God telling me today when I was pruning that pruning is necessary. You know, pruning, it hurts and it's not great, and it's cutting parts away of a tree or of ourselves that we're not necessarily ready to do, but it's necessary. It's necessary to help us grow. It's necessary to help us become healthy again. It's necessary. So that was the first thing. And the second thing today that I want to talk about, and it's not going to be a very long video. Hi, Lori. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Sue. The second thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is weeding. Here is the state of my lemon tree, or around my lemon tree as of right now. You see all of this extra added greenery? Now, weeds don't bother me too much. Here's the thing with weeds. Weeds tell me that the ground that is underneath whatever I have, whether it be mulch or rocks or wherever my plants are growing, it tells me that the soil is fertile. It tells me that the soil is good, that there is nourishment to be found there. Here's the problem with weeds, is that when you let them go and you let them grow and mature, they take over everything. Everything. Now, some weeds are pretty. I'm not gonna lie. Some weeds are pretty. They have flowers, and a lot of the time I'm like, oh, I just wanna leave them because they're so pretty. But guess what? When we leave them and we let them go, again, they take over, and they have a funny way of choking out the plants that are trying to grow, and they also take away the nourishment from the soil because they're life suckers. They basically anchor themselves into the ground, creating a really hard time when you do get to weeding to take them out, and they just start sucking everything out that's for the plants. So that's the problem with weeds, even though sometimes they're pretty. The other thing about weeds is that when you let them mature and then you go to pull them, I will show you an example. This is lantana, I think. This is a strain of lantana. It's not the kind that you buy in the store, but you see how it has this long fuzzy stem. I don't know if you can see the fuzziness of it, but when you go to plant it, because I let it mature, if you pull it with your bare hands, it bites. This plant bites. It causes a rash. It causes itching. So that's the other problem with weeds, is that if we let them lay because they're pretty, or because they have, you know, they look okay, or they fit right now, or I'll get to them later, they hurt when you grab them by your bare hand. The other thing, and I'm pretty sure some people remember this, nettles in Florida, if you pull those by your hands, they sting. So that's the other thing about weeds. And so as I'm weeding today, and I'll show you my big pile that I'm started on, but I haven't even made a dent, because I've said for myself, I'll get to it, and then I never get to it. Here's my pile right here. We're working on it. The thing about it is when you say you'll get to it and you'll get to it, you then have some time where it gets overrun. And God pointed that out to me today too, where He is the ultimate gardener God of our lives. He steps in, He cultivates, He makes things grow. He is in all, does all, bees all, but we have a hand in that. We are His helpers too. And so if He's tending to our heart garden and we are letting it be overrun with weeds, or with we're not, oops, sorry, my phone is about to die. Not that we do any of the pruning, because that's what He does. He's the pruner. But when we let weeds overrun our life, it chokes us. It chokes us out to where, the growth that God is trying to cultivate in us gets halted, until we get so overrun with weeds that then God's like, okay, now I have to prune. You see how that works? It's like you let the weeds grow and grow and grow. And then finally, the plant, the heart, gets so choked out and so full of grief that it can hardly stand. And then God says, okay, now I have to come in and I have to prune. And so it's our job to keep the weeds out of our lives, and to not let them get overrun. Okay, they're there because the land is good. The weeds are there because we're full of nourishment and we are ready to be planted into, even the soil here. But that doesn't mean it's okay to let them linger. So that's my encouragement today. I'm gonna actually go, because I have to move my sweet potato plant. I will show it to you before I go. It has started to take over the garden, and it's exciting. But the cool thing about this, and sweet potatoes are awesome, but this is also what it does. This is my pepper plant right here, and here's my sweet potato. And see how my sweet potato has kind of run up and is starting to climb this plant? We don't want that. We don't want this plant to take over that plant. So I'm going to actually be starting a blog this week. It's going to be called The Lessons I've Learned in the Dirt. So if you enjoy watching these videos, or hear me talking about the awesome things that God does while I'm in the dirt, I would love for you guys to check out that blog as I post it. And that's all I've got today. I've got to go, because I do have to move this sweet potato, but I hope you guys are encouraged, and I love you, and I will talk to you soon. And I hope I wasn't rambling. I feel like I might have been rambling, but either way, I hope you got something. I'll talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye.